Why don't you just keep playing, Ruben, and I'll just... Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Natalie Fleury, and it is a pleasure to serve as the board representative this morning on this misty morning in Brookfield, Wisconsin at the end of December. Our Unitarian Universalist faith calls us to take action for equity, racial justice, and right relations. In this place, we occupy the traditional territory of the Ho-Chunk and Menominee nations, the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi. What is now known as the state of Wisconsin is home to 12 tribal nations, and no matter where you are in Wisconsin, you are on the sacred ancestral land of an indigenous people who have cared for that land for millennia. We are mindful of our responsibility to practice good relations with the land and water as tribal elders and ancestors past, present, and emerging have done. We also acknowledge our continued need to address racism, which continues to lead to the violent deaths of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. We know that racism, white colonialism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and other exclusionary practices perpetuate inequalities, injustices, and poverty in U.S. society. As a welcoming congregation to gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, and queer plus peoples, we must continue to address ongoing homophobia, violence, and unfair legislation targeting them. You'll notice out on the table near the community room that there are now stickers that you can put on your name tag to indicate that you are supportive and a safe person for people who are struggling with issues under the new upcoming. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. It's so good to be together as a joyful community committed to spiritual growth, inclusion, and justice, gathering in and among so many different spaces. We especially note that a substantial part of our gathered community are those joining us from their homes or other places. Good morning. Wherever we are physically, our hearts and our spirits are one, and we look forward to being present together today. Here are a few things to note as we settle into this time together. This is a multi-generational community, and there are a variety of ways for all ages to participate. This week, the children have been invited to RE for the entire service, though, as always, all ages are welcome here in the sanctuary. There is a worship exploration table where there are some activities for those who are so inclined and like to keep their hands busy while they listen. If you're a newcomer here, I hope you picked up a flyer on the way in that tells you all about what to expect and how to connect. We'd love to have you fill out the welcome side of the blue form you received when you entered, and hope to see you at the newcomers table in the foyer after the service. And if you're online and want more information, please email us at visitor@uucw.org. There's time for coffee, tea, and conversation for everyone following the service. Find a comfortable place to hang out, here, in the community room, in the library, and then challenge yourself to talk to someone you've not yet met. Let's build community together. For those of you in the sanctuary, I'd like to ask you to take a look at the announcements included with the order of service. Those of you watching online can find most of the announcement through the e-news in your email or on the UUCW website. All of the announcements are important, so I encourage you to take a few minutes to read through them all. I want to highlight a few announcements here. The nominating committee is seeking candidates for the Board of Trustees, the Endowment Committee, the Nominating Committee, and the Bylaws Review Committee. It's going to be an exciting time as we settle into our shared ministry with Reverend Jill. Consider how you might contribute to the life of our community by participating in one of these important roles. Friday, January 10th, you have an opportunity to undecorate the church from 11 to 12 and then stay for a Get to Know Jill bag lunch. See the announcements and the e-news for more details. There's no need to register in advance. That night on January 10th, there will also be games, pizza, and connection from 5:30 to 8 at the All Ages Game Night. Pizza at 6:15 and bring your own beverages and snacks. Feel free to also bring a game that you enjoy playing. There'll be a lot of other games available here, but if you have a favorite, bring it to share. And then you should mark your calendar for the All Ages Congregation Potluck and Story Sharing Workshop on Friday, January 24th at 6 p.m. Childcare will be available, and there will also be activities for kids. Sign up today using the link in the e-news. And I'm going to do a few short teasers. There are more details in the announcements about these. The topics in liberal Christian thought will be discussing the Quran at their meeting on January 2nd at 10:30. The Wednesday night book group meets the second Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 via Zoom, and their new book list is in the e-news. The Diversity Theater group has an outing planned for, I believe it's February 2nd, and the Young Families Ministry is planning a Valentine's Day activity. This is a new group getting together for people who have children under 11, and they're planning an activity, a Valentine's activity on February 8th. And finally, the UUC office will be closed December 31st to January 2nd and will reopen on Friday, January 3rd. It's such a privilege to have this once-a-week opportunity to explore and create meaning in the company of others. Now, let's settle into being present with each other and this beloved community. I hope this is yours.
Good morning. Our call to worship is from Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence. The bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement are but experiences of time. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. And today, well lived, makes yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation to the ever-new dawn. Now, please rise as you're willing and able, and let's sing together hymn 347, Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate
Our chalice lighting words for today are from Amy Carroll Webb. Please read along, and if you are joining us at home, feel free to kindle your own chalice or candle. We light this flame for the art of sacred non-knowing, humbled by all that we cannot fathom in this time. Perhaps the only thing we can ever know, that love is now and forever, the only answer to everything and everyone in every moment. Now is one of the most fun times. I'm on again, yes? Thank you. We share joys and concerns that are on our heart, happy, sad, mixed, what have you. But we share with the community. What is talked about here is not shared on the tape rerun that we put on. It's only during this service. Those of you at home can send in your requests via email to the office or to Reverend Jill, and we'll honor those as well. So now I'd like to have whoever would want to come up. We'll light a candle and share your joy or concern. Please come. It's been a great holiday season so far. I'll light one further candle, celebrating all of those joys and taking all of those concerns and sorrows that are on our hearts, and we hold them all in love. Please rise as you're willing and able, and let's sing again. Hymn 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close,
Our next reading is A Faith of Holy Cartographers, an excerpt from Class Passing into UU Leadership by Teresa Youngblood. In order to travel the Great Way together, we have to cultivate a sense of belonging that isn't conditional upon conformity. I don't want a smoothed out, disproportionately aggrandized faith that attempts to draw all comers to its one self-righteous place at the top of the map of humanity, leaving the messiness of their upbringings and lived realities behind them. Instead, I want an imaginative and wandering faith of holy cartographers, eager encounterers who pay exquisite attention to the terrain and the systemic forces that shape it. Leaders who meet people where they are, approach them with curiosity, hold lightly to their own individual stories, and are willing to be surprised and delighted and moved by what they discover in the treasure trove of another. This cannot happen with assimilation. It has to be transformation. We all have to be aiming for transformation and to be willing to be guided not by positions and placeholders, but by principles held in covenant and to which anyone of loving intention can guide us back. The old top-heavy map simply cannot get us there. Could we teach one another how to do this? Could we make the foundation of our faith development learning how to inhabit an open and curious presence by rooting firmly in our own mutual belovedness, as it is so beautifully articulated in the universalist half of our heritage? I want us to heal one another through our fiercely compassionate presence so that we can chart a different path as a matter of lived theology, so that we can caringly release the old one-directional paths that aren't broad enough for all of us to accompany one another. I think this degree of spiritual security and resiliency could be what gets us there, what frees our souls to encounter the sacred terrain of one another's experiences. What we discover and share could be our new map, more complete and truer than the one we were handed, and that we don't know we could leave behind. This could be how we grow our new way together.
I'm Steve Frey, a member of the worship ministry team, and we help coordinate services when Reverend Jill is not available in the pulpit. I also get the privilege of speaking to you today. Dr. Abigail Brenner in Psychology Today states, "Your life is full of routine and habit, and in many ways that's good. A routine, things we do day in and day out, help us accomplish a lot without having to think too much about it. These become automatic responses as you go from one activity or event to another. If you had to think about all of the things you do in one day over and over again, if it were the first time you were doing them, you'd be wasting a lot of time and a lot of energy. So conserving time and energy on an ongoing basis is adaptive and practical. It helps us get through what we need to do and frees us up for the very important things we need to focus on." I agree. Sometimes things become so habitual we don't even think about them. Dr. Brenner goes on, "In this crazy, demanding world we live in, made even crazier in the last few decades with the internet and social media calling us to be involved, we need to stop and think, to reevaluate how we spend our time and how we live our lives. Taking the time to be present in the moment is a very difficult thing to do. Even when you're conscious of the importance, the need, and the benefit of doing so. Are you aware of being present? Do you practice being present? Even just stopping to think that you're not aware of being present for yourself, that you're thinking about what's happened already or what will happen, and not focused on the now, it's an important step. So if you have the inclination, now is a good time to think about what it means to actually be here now, and perhaps to set an intention to make active presence a part of your life. I learned about meditation when I was in college. I learned all sorts of things when I was in college. Right, Jillian? The suggestion was to set aside 15 to 20 minutes once or twice a day to sit in lotus position, undisturbed, focusing on your breath and posture, allowing your thoughts to move out of your consciousness. That can be a tough commitment for some, but that's why it is called a practice. One of my teachers, and I say teachers I'm still learning, taught a 1-minute meditation. My immediate reaction was, how is that possible? He said, stop what you're doing, take a slow, deep breath, relax your shoulders, or as he referred to it, relax and lower your earrings, because sometimes people get tense and you're all up like this. So. Pay attention to your breathing. Let go of expectations. Enjoy where you are. And when you're ready, take another deep cleansing breath and go back to what you were doing. Jokingly, he said, the pause that refreshes. My opinion is it actually works. Mindfulness practice is another way to bring awareness to whatever you're doing. That could be going for a walk after a meal, or a morning run, or even cooking or doing the dishes. The idea is to be totally engaged in every part of the activity. Let the thousands of thoughts go. Bring your full awareness to whatever you are doing. See the importance in everything you do. Let your senses keep you grounded. What they are picking up is often taken for granted. They keep you informed about what is going on around you. Pay attention to what you see, smell, taste, touch. Stop what you're thinking and consciously feel what your senses are bringing to your attention. Nature is a good place to practice. We are firm believers. Taking a walk in the park, in the woods, sitting by a stream, or gardening are simple ways to take a break from daily life. I sometimes let my dog decide where we're going to walk. That way I don't have to think about it. In his book, The Healing Earth, Philip Chard, who's a friend of ours, says, we forget that there is more wisdom in the voices of the wind and water than can be found in any talk show, self-help tome, or politician. that there is as much spiritual sustenance in a night sky or a misty morning as an ornate cathedral or charismatic sermon, and that there's more in life purpose in growing a garden than in many careers, and more education in exploring a marsh, a pond, or prairie that can be gained from months in a classroom. He goes on, if each of us spent more time with our hands in the dirt, our faces in the wind, our eyes on the wonderment of creation, and our bodies cradled in the arms of Mother Earth, I suspect there'd be far less affliction in this world and in our hearts. Most of us want to know what's going to happen in the future, especially if it's something we care about. Much of not being present in the moment is anxiety or fear of future worries. Imagine what releasing all of that energy we put into not knowing would feel like. Uncertainty and change are part of us. We try to control them. Feelings are subject to change. Allowing ourselves to feel our feelings without judgment. Try not to overthink them. Changing our habits. A way to become more present in the moment is to do things differently. I put my shoes on this morning the opposite way of what I usually do. And I just started smiling. Because I thought, wow, that was interesting. Change the order in which you do a thing and when you do them on any given day. Do something new. Change what you eat for breakfast. Alter your route to work. Buy something different that reflects a new image. In Dan Millman's book, The Laws of Spirit, he talks about the laws of presence, living in the moment. A quote, time is a paradox stretching between a past and future that have no reality except in our own minds. The idea of time is a convention of thought and language, a social agreement. But here's the deeper truth. We have only this moment. Rituals take you out of ordinary time. Lighting a candle, singing songs by yourself or with a group of like-minded individuals. Rituals are reminders that you are here no matter what is happening around you. Daily reflection. Some people journal or make a gratitude list. At the end of my day, I like to think of 3 things that make me happy. How it went, what have I accomplished? Was I present for myself? Was I present for others? In closing, I have a favorite quote from Eckhart Tolle that is on an index card. Above our kitchen sink. I read it every morning as my ritual. The only moment there ever is now. Your entire life is now. Whatever you experience, feel, think, do, is always now. Don't live as if the now were a secondary thing, because the next moment is more important. There is no next moment. The only moment there ever is now. May it be so.
Where's the clicker? Okay. UU Church West's Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values, pursue the goal of social justice, and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for December is CAGE, Community Agricultural Growing Experience, a Milwaukee-based nonprofit organization dedicated to not just cultivating the land, but also transforming the lives of the teenage boys who participate in the program. Located on Reservoir Street in Milwaukee, CAGE offers more than just a gardening experience. It provides a platform for personal growth and development. Through dedication and teamwork, the young men learn the value of hard work, patience, and perseverance. The garden becomes a metaphor for life itself, teaching them that with nurturing and care, both plants and people can thrive and achieve fruitful outcomes. We are pleased to support CAGE, and your contribution will aid their efforts. You can go to the UUCW website's Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or you can text or mail in your donation using the information found here, or you can provide your donation in the baskets that will soon be coming around. We thank you most sincerely for your support.
Now, please join us in the dedication of the offering. Your words are in your order of service. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. The meditation for today is Goodbyes Are Hard by Lauren Robbins. Goodbyes are hard, so hard. In fact, that many of us skip that step within our relationships. whether saying goodbye as in see you later, or goodbye as a final step in creating closure in a relationship, we often deny ourselves the opportunity to practice this important human interaction. For many people, goodbyes are uncomfortable. They provide the opportunity to both experience and express the value that the relationship or person has had in our life. This vulnerability, displaying the difficulty we may experience in separating from one another, is a common challenge in a world where many are told to stay strong, avoiding all chances that you might cry, express other emotions, or be perceived as overly sensitive. That's all bogus. The human condition is about experiencing emotions, connecting with others through relationship. Saying goodbye is a cathartic exercise in interpersonal connection and validating the impact people and experiences have on our lives. It's important to honor the footprint others leave on our heart. It's equally important to recognize that not all relationships are meant to be lifelong. Many are time limited. They are established for a specific reason, and when life circumstances shift, as they inevitably do, the relationship no longer serves its previous function. It's okay to let relationships ebb and flow, and let some float away. That doesn't mean they didn't matter. We are continuously evolving. Accordingly, our needs change, and so do the relationships that fulfill those needs. So practice saying goodbye. Do what feels right to express the value that their friendship, their support, or their camaraderie has for you. Allow others to see the impact that their presence has on you. And when it's time to say goodbye, whether just for now or forever, know that in saying goodbye, you're not devaluing the time spent with this person, but saying you matter and you've been part of my story. Goodbyes are hard. But that doesn't mean we should pretend they don't exist. Emotional discomfort often equals emotional growth, something we all need to continually pursue joy and life satisfaction. And now we'd like to sing again. Hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us. Please rise as you're willing and able.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you
as Natalie extinguishes our flame. Go forth in simplicity. Find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger. Open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people.